Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everybody. How are you? I wish you all well. First of all, let me thank you all for watching my presentation video. Before we begin, let me introduce myself briefly. I am Fani Azfar, the student of Islamic Education Department of UIN Malang. As you can see on the screen, our topic today is the history of the development of Fiqih at the time of the Imam Mujtahid. I will start by presenting the reason for the development of Fiqih and the passion for doing ijtihad. Then I will continue by explaining some of the important legacies that result in this period. Finally, I will explain some of the school or madhab of thought that exist during this period. I will start by providing an explanation of the related material, and then I will provide an opportunity for friend to ask question about the material I have explained and as much as possible. I will answer the question according to my knowledge. Finally, I will give a conclusion about this material. It should take about 30 minutes to cover this issue. Please attention to the material that I am presenting properly until it's finished. I have sent you a PowerPoint presentation via WhatsApp. You can watch my presentation video while listening to the PowerPoint that I have sent. There will be time for question after my presentation. For question can be sent via live chat YouTube, and I will open 3 quota question only. Since the Prophet Muhammad did, new problem arose regarding Fiqih that were not encountered at the time of the Prophet Muhammad. This make future generation not allow obtain through istinbat in exchange for a place to elevate problem that were previously handed over directly to the Prophet Muhammad. After time, the sign of Fiqih was born. Some scholar or madhab divide the period of growth or development and of Fiqih science into 4 periods. First is the emergence of the basic of Fiqih, namely during the time of the Prophet Muhammad. The second is the development of Fiqih at the time of friend. The third was the development of Fiqih during the Tabi'in era. And fourth is the development of Fiqih at the time of Imam Mujtahid. On this occasion, I will explain the fourth period of the development of Fiqih, because at that time the science of Fiqih experienced a significant progress and we can feel the benefit until now. What are the benefits? Let's look at the explanation of the following material. In this part of my presentation, I would like to explain you about the reason for the development of Fiqih and the passing for doing ijtihad first. This period lasts more than 250 years, starting from the 2nd century to the middle of the 4th century Hijriah. Among the reasons for the development of Fiqh and the passion of ijtihad, first, the area of power of the Muslim Ummah, which is so wide that it extended as to China and west to Andalusia with so many people. Surely, this large area requires regulation that are used as within the judges and government leaders. As fatwas which are not by the people, this fatwa and purpose has no another source except the Sharia. Second, madhab at this time had several fatwas and methods of doing ijtihad that they obtained for the previous period. At this time, Al-Quran and Sunnah have been recorded and disseminated since the early 30th century Hijriah. This most of the Muslims at this time have a desire for all their attitudes and behavior to be based on Islamic Sharia, both in Mahdah and Ghairu Mahdah, Muamalah in broad sense. They seek fatwa from clerics as well as judge and government leader. So the madhab become a sort of reference that was made by the community. For this period has given birth to madhab who have the ability to become a Mujtahid. For example, Imam Abu Hanifah with his follower, Imam Malik with his follower, Imam Shafi'i with his student, and Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal with his student. This leads directly to the next part of my talk. This period has left several important things such as, first, Sunnah has been recorded. Some of the Sunnah were recorded according to the chapter of Fiqh, and some were recorded according to the order of the Hadith Sanad. At this time, Al-Quran also had Rakaat. Second, Fiqh has been recorded along with argument and reason for it, such as the Dahir or Riwayah As-Sittah, book by the Hanafi Madhab of Tawq, book Al-Mutawana Madhab Maliki, book Madhab Ash-Shafi'i, etc. Third, Usul Fiqh science has been recorded. The Mujtahid's Madhab have their own way of doing ijtihad, which is based on the principles and method they follow. Like Imam Malik in this book regarding principle and best when doing ijtihad. But the madhab were early to codify this principle systematically, where Imam Shafi'i in his book Ar-Risalah. It was Imam Shafi'i who also formulated Usul Fiqh. Fourth, there are two famous firqah at this time, namely Madrasah Al-Hadith and Madrasah Ar-Ra'i. Ar-Ra'i Madrasah are usually in Iraq. This name is modified because the Ar-Ra'i Madrasah in Iraq focuses on the purpose and basic of Shara when making laws or saying the implicit meaning of the Shara text. They conclude that the Shara laws can be understood and has a purpose for the benefit of mankind. So, the Shara life is based on the same aims and principle, so that there will be no paradox between the two things. With this concept the understand the texts that are ta'kid text or other texts. and establish laws regarding several cases, sometimes also ta'wil the outer text of a text. Therefore, they widen the scope of ijtihad bi ra'yi. Meanwhile, the hadith madrasa in the Hijaz focus more on the hadith and fatwa of the Sahabat. The judge need to review the next of the sentence contained in the hadith and determine the event that occurred without first discussing the principle and ilat. When there is a difference between the mean and the text, they give priority to the text rather than reason. To that, they seem reluctant to the ijtihad using reason except in urgent circumstance. Let's move on the next point, namely some madhab of truth. Currently, there are approximately 6 madhab with quite a large number of followers. For example, the Hanafi, Maliki, Shafi'i, Hanbali, Shia, and Dohiri madhab. The breadth of the school in this fiqh was motivated by differences in the use of the method of ijtihad. From this, the vertical fiqh emerged, which originally consisted of the Mujtahid school. Over time, this group expanded widely by defending the opinion of the Imam until the Fiqih school of Fiqh that we know today were formed. Actually, the Imam Mujtahid themselves do not recommend following them. What is recommended by the Imam of the madhab is to return to the argument in performing ijtihad. Although in this way, there is a possibility that the resulting law may differ from their opinion. In other words, the Mujtahid Imam pushed for ijtihad. In essence, the Mujtahid Imams do not require Muslims to follow or adhere to their school of thought. They even suggested that they bequeathed the argument in doing ijtihad. Even though in this way, its goals give the opportunity to produce laws that differ from their opinion. It's proved that the Mujtahid Imams recommend us to perform ijtihad. So, there are several guidelines for Islamic scholar in performing ijtihad as follows. First, Imam Hanafi, Al-Quran, Sunnah, and the opinion of Sahabat in ijtihad using qiyas, al-ihtisan, ijma, Sahabat, and urf. Imam Maliki, Al-Quran, Sunnah, Al-Madinah experts, karakteristik, fatwa Sahabat, al-qiyas, masalah mursalah, and sadu zari'ah. And the Imam Shafi'i, Al-Quran, Sunnah, ijma, qiyas, and istidlal. And Imam Hanbali, Al-Quran, Sunnah, fatwa Sahabat, qiyas, and sadu zari'ah. Dohiri madhab, Al-Quran, Sunnah, opinion of Sahabat, and istishab. Syiah madhab, Al-Quran, Sunnah, qiyas, istihsan, al-masalah mursalah, and al-aql, which according to good sense are used when no other way is found. Syiah Zaidiyah, Syiah Ja'fariyah using Al-Quran, As-Sunnah, ijma, masalah mursalah, and akal. As I mentioned before, currently there are approximately 6 madhab with a large number of followers. For example, the Hanafi, Maliki, Shafi'i, Hambali, Shia, and Zohiri madhab. Then, I'd like to sum up the main point. First, the cause for the development of fiqh and the passion for ijtihad, namely A. The art of Muslim power that is so west to the east to China and west to Andalusia with so many people. B. Ulama at this time had several fatwas and methods of doing ijtihad that they obtained from the previous period. C. Most of the Muslims at this time have a desire that all their attitudes and behavior are based on Islamic Sharia, both in Mahdah and Ghairu Mahdah worship. D. This period has given birth to scholars or madhab who have the ability to become a Mujtahid. Point 2. Some things that have been passed on during this period. A. Al-Sunnah has been recorded. B. He has recorded fiqh along with the argument and reason for it. C. Usul fiqh science has been recorded. D. There are two famous firqah at this time, namely Madrasah al-Hadith and Madrasah al-Ra'i. Point 3. There are several groups of school or madhab of thought such as the Hanafi, Maliki, Shafi'i, Hambali, Shia, and Zohiri madhab. Okay, I think that's everything I want to say. If there is an error from me when explaining the material, I am apologies profusely. Thanks. Before I stop, let me go through my main point again. The development of fiqh at the time of Imam Mujtahid began to hold the bookkeeping of Sunnah fiqh, which was accompanied by argument and hujjah. Usul fiqh during this period there were also two well-known schools of thought, namely Madrasah al-Hadith in the Hijaz, Ahlul Hadith, and Madrasah al-Ra'i in Iraq, Ahlul Ra'i. Until now, there are several madhab that have many followers. For example, the Hanafi, Maliki, Shafi'i, Hambali, Shia, and Zohiri madhab. And for question can be sent via live chat YouTube, and I will open 3 quota question only. Okay, I think there is no question. Okay, that's enough from me. Thank you for watching my video presentation. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.